Hello, welcome back to my channel. So today it is still October, but we are getting organised for Christmas. So grab a cosy drink, get yourself settled, and let's get organised. So if you're watching this video, I'm guessing that you're not the sort of person that waits until December before they even start thinking about Christmas. Maybe you are the person that Christmas Eve last year, you were in a crumpled heap on the floor thinking next year it's going to be different, I'm going to be super organised, I'm going to make lists, I'm going to check them off, I'm going to start in October. So if that's you, then you're definitely in the right place, because what I'd really love to do with this series of videos that I'm going to be putting together right through October, November up to Christmas is really to get you on track. What makes me qualified to do it? Well, this year will be my 37th family Christmas. So I've been married for 36 years, 2 grown-up sons, and yeah, since that very first Christmas when we were married, I think we hosted that very first Christmas, both sets of parents. So yeah, it's just something that I've loved to do, and I've had lots of people ask me to do it and just kind of say, oh, I sometimes don't know what to do, don't know where to start thinking about it. I just keep putting it off and putting it off and putting it off because I just can't bear to kind of think about it. And then I regret all the procrastination when it comes to December and I'm way behind. So I'm putting together this series of videos. It'll be every week, each week looking at a different topic. If you can come back and check in with me and watch each week, it'll just keep you on track. There'll be a little bit of homework every week, things that you need to be thinking about and doing that week to keep yourself on track. And look, listen, I know life happens, life gets in the way. So if you get off track a little bit, then you just know that these are the things you've got to do to get back on track again. And I think sometimes a lot of the stress comes from that overwhelm that we perceive that we've got so much to do. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot in organising Christmas. But when you know that it's all in place, that you don't have to think about that this week because that's next week's task, or this is what you need to focus on this week to stay on track, then I think that in itself takes away a lot of the stress. Everybody's got their own ideas about Christmas, and what Christmas means in every household is different, and that's something that you learn straight away when you start living your life with someone else, and suddenly, you know, traditions that you were brought up with are different from your partner's. Or with so many blended families now, when you merge those two families to try to create that Christmas, one family has always done it one way, another family has always done it another, and that's what can sometimes cause stress. So the very first thing that I would recommend that you do is, what kind of Christmas do you want? Do you want the kind of Christmas with family and friends and parties and loud chaos in a good way, lots of people around, lots of gifts, you know, all of that? Or do you just want a quiet Christmas? Shut the world out, hibernate over the holidays. It still has significance, it still has meaning, but you don't want to necessarily see a whole load of people and you just want to be by yourself. Perfectly fine. How much does faith play a part in your Christmas? Is that something that's important to you, that you really want to include those faith-based celebrations and traditions into what you do? Or is that just not part of the way that you would like to celebrate Christmas at all? Do you want to travel a distance to be with family and friends? Or do you just want to stay off the road, stay out of the travel network and have it at home? So these are all things to consider about, you know, the type of Christmas that you want, because let's face it, we're all bombarded with images on the TV, whether it's advertising in magazines, that give us this notion of what the perfect Christmas is. And that's what can cause a lot of the stress as well, is this perfectionist tendency that we quite often have to create that image of the perfect Christmas. But a lot of stress around Christmas and the organisation of it comes from when you are forcing yourself to organise and create a Christmas that isn't really aligned with what you really want. You just feel compelled to do it because that's how it's done, and not necessarily because you're trying to create this perfect Christmas that you see in the movies and on the TV, but just that it's something that you think that you should do and it isn't really aligned. You just think that you should have all the family around because that's what's expected from you, but it isn't really the kind of Christmas that you want, and that's what causes a lot of stress as well. So before you do anything else, just spend a little bit of time, go for a walk, curl up on the sofa, just have a little think about what is important to you, jot some things down, have a discussion with your partner, husband, wife, grown children if that's what's needed, and just decide on the type of Christmas that you would like to have. So it's my intention each week to create videos with a focus for that week, the things that you need to be thinking about, the things that you need to be checking off your list. So yeah, we're kind of, second week in October. By the time this goes out, we'll be sort of in the middle of October. And that's great if you're discovering this video and you're in from the start, fantastic. If you come across this video into November or even into December, then you can just skip through them and at least it'll give you the list of things that you need to be thinking about. You'll have a lot less time to do it in, but hopefully it will give you a checklist to go through and just make sure that you've got everything done. So once you've decided on the kind of Christmas that you want, what's important to you, the thing that you do need to decide next, and preferably this week, get it nailed, is where you're spending Christmas. Get the family WhatsApp going, have the difficult conversations, as sometimes happens, and make the decisions about who is hosting Christmas. Because if it's you, then that will influence so much of the rest of your organising. And if it's not you and it involves travel arrangements to go to someone else's for Christmas, then there's a lot of organising around that as well. So yeah, get that nailed this week. Where are you spending Christmas? Okay, so number 2 on tasks to do this week is to get yourself a Christmas planner. Now, if you're an analogue kind of person, this might involve just buying a binder or finding one around the house that you've got, a ring binder, or maybe a nice notebook. If you're kind of an analog type person, if you're a digital type person, then set yourself up with some spreadsheets. And I'm going to be going through all the kind of categories and things that you're going to need shortly, but you're going to need somewhere to pull this all together. This is where you're going to keep all your lists. This is where you're going to be able to add things in, check them off, write yourself notes. So yeah, either a planner, notebook that you can write everything down in, or spreadsheets. But you need to set that up now. You need to set that up this week. So once you've got your planner pulled together, whether that is a notebook or whether it's a set of spreadsheets, you're going to want to create lots of categories within the planner. And I'm going to list all the categories here and just kind of briefly what is involved or what I mean by each one. But we'll look at them in a lot more detail and what all the different tasks are within them as the weeks go on. But for this week, just get all the categories in there. So the first category that you're going to want to add in there is budget. Now, for some people, this is a lot more important than others. I totally get that. We've all got different means. Some, you might need to stick to a really strict budget. For others, luckily, maybe budget isn't such a huge consideration. But in whatever way it's important to you, then create a category for your budget. If nothing else, even if you are lucky enough to have the means not to worry about it, I think it's quite good just to actually note down how much you're spending, because I think you'd get a shock. Just noting down everything, so everything that you're spending, just to actually let you see how much Christmas actually costs. So budget is the first category that you're going to have. I've got my list here because there's no chance I'm going to remember it all in my brain. Next category is gifts. Create a category for gifts and then just jot down all the people that you would buy a gift for, and include in that anybody that you would, you know, as we say in Scotland, give a little minding to, a little minding. So whether that's your nail tech, your hairdresser, your kids' teachers, you know, all of those ones as well, include everybody on that. But yeah, so create your gift category and write everybody down that you're going to buy a gift for. Next category is going to be food and drink, and that is going to cover everything from grocery lists to the specific things that you need for Christmas Day if you're hosting, or the specific things that you need to host a party, or if you're going to plan ahead meals and put them in the freezer, meal planning. So we'll come back to that, but at the moment, excuse me, you just need a category for food and drink. You're going to need a category for Christmas cards. Nowadays, not everybody sends Christmas cards. Maybe you just send special ones to close family and friends. But yeah, a category for Christmas cards. That's where you're going to keep all the addresses. You're going to keep a note to buy stamps. We'll come to all that, but Christmas cards. Then the next one after Christmas cards is going to be decorations. Put a category specifically in your planner for decorations. You're going to have a category for just general supplies, and by that I mean sticky tape, scissors, glue tack, you know, all of the sundries that cause stress when you don't have them. So we're going to put a specific category just for general supplies. We are going to have a hosting category. So that will include whether you're hosting on Christmas Day, whether you're hosting family and friends at another time. So a hosting category. You are going to have a travel arrangements category. Again, this might not apply to you, but if you are visiting family and friends at any point over the Christmas season, put a section in there for your travel arrangements. Put a section in for overnight guests. Again, this might not apply to you, so you might not need it, but if you are going to be having anyone to stay overnight, you're going to need a category in there for overnight guests. You are going to have an entertainment category. So this is going to involve if you are going to see a show, or you're going to the cinema at Christmas, or you are booking tickets for something. Lots of things can come into the category of entertainment, or maybe you're just going to up your TV package so that you can watch extra Christmas movies, whatever that might be. Let's put a separate category in for entertainment. Add a category in for charitable giving, volunteering, something that's very important to a lot of people across the holiday season. So let's put that as a category in your planner. Super important, you're going to need a category for health and self-care. What are all the things that you are going to do to get yourself through this potentially stressful period? And that can include things like just making sure that your hair and nail appointments are booked. Maybe you can treat yourself to a little extra beauty treatment, add a facial in there. Maybe it's just a case of making sure that you take some time out to have some lovely walks, that type of thing. But let's put a category in there just to make sure that we focus on it too. We're going to have a clothing category, and that's going to be things like, what are you wearing on Christmas Day? What are your kids wearing on Christmas Day? If you've got a party to go to, what are you wearing to the party? All of those things. Again, anything that causes us stress when we wake up in the morning and we think, I'm going out tonight and I've got no idea what I'm wearing. So let's put it in the planner so that it's planned and you don't have that stress. You're also going to need a receipts folder. So if this is an analog type planner, you're going to have a pocket or something to stash your receipts. If you're doing it all on spreadsheets, you want to allocate somewhere that you're just going to gather all your receipts together so that they're all in one place. If you've got school-age kids, then you might want a category in there for school or clubs. Is there a party that you need to make a costume for? Is there an after-school activity that you need to remember to buy tickets for? Are they putting on a Christmas show, or, you know, that type of thing? So school, clubs, let's put that as a category if that applies to you. You could also add in a category for household jobs or household chores. Maybe there's some extra ones that need to be done at this time of year. Maybe you like to give your house a good deep clean before you put your decorations up, you know, that type of thing. So you might want a category for household jobs. And last but not least, let's put in a wish list. Add in a wish list category, and on here you're going to put things that come to mind, like maybe there's a particular film you want to watch over the holidays this year, or maybe there's a particular activity that you'd really like to try and do this year. So add in a wish list, and then when things come to mind, you can just jot it down. You've got somewhere to add it in. So you're going to want your planner to work in conjunction with a calendar or a diary. So whether that's your calendar on your phone to add tasks into, just things that you need to do specific weeks, specific days, or set reminders on your phone or your laptop calendar or whatever. Or if you are more of an analog type and you've got a diary, then you're going to write these tasks down, you know, on the various days or as a weekly list in your diary. But you just need to make sure that you're working in conjunction with your regular calendar or your regular diary. There's little point in putting it somewhere else, because then you'll forget to look at it and the tasks will probably get missed. So yeah, you need a diary or a calendar that you know is going to work for you. Okay, so number 3, where are we? Number 3 on our list of what we need to do this week as we get started with the whole organisation thing is to create a master shopping list. This could be as simple as a notepad that you're going to keep adding things to and keep crossing them off. But it needs to be something portable. It needs to be something that you can have with you all the time. So maybe it is the Notes app on your phone, maybe it's a specific app. I've got a specific lists app on my phone, and I've got a variety of lists in there. That's where I keep my master grocery list, and I just keep adding and deleting it. So maybe it's something like that. You can have a look on the app store and see if there's something that would work for you. But you need a central master shopping list that we can add to and score things off as you go. Number 4 on the list of things we need to do or set up this week as we get started with all the Christmas planning is to nominate a central holding point for everything that you buy. There is nothing more annoying than knowing that you bought something but you can't remember where you put it. You know that you bought sellotape. Can you find it? No. You know that you bought a Christmas card with 2 Granny and Grandad on it, but can you find it? No. So nominate a central point. If you're lucky enough to have somewhere in your house, you know, that you've got a little bit of extra storage, maybe a cupboard that's not got much in it, that you can put everything together in, great. If you've got a spare room, a basket works really well to get you started for those little things. Basket on the spare room bed, great. If not, and I suspect a lot of us do not have somewhere at home that we can have like a whole dedicated space to, you need another list in your planner so that where, you know, when you stash things, you write on that list where they are stashed, so that when you're trying to find it, you can just go down that list and see that you stored the sellotape that you bought in October on the top of the airing cupboard. I don't know, wherever you're storing it, but you need to write that down, because you honestly have not got a hope in the busyness of Christmas. You've not got a hope of remembering where you put it. So either a dedicated place that you just know you can go to and everything is there, or keep a a careful note of where you're stashing stuff as you go. So number 5 on our list, we're nearly there, number 5, to get us on the right track and make sure that we really are setting off on the right foot to being organised for Christmas. So number 5 relates to the categories that we listed, and a couple of things in a couple of the categories that you really do need to do this week, or as soon as humanly possible. And the first one is in the hosting category. If you are hosting elsewhere in the holidays, so are you having a party? Do you want to have friends round, for another kind of celebration at some other point over the holidays? You're going to need to decide that now, and you're going to need to send out kind of a save the date for that, because there's nothing more disappointing, frustrating than deciding, in November that you want to have a party and you want to host people, and then you send out the invitations or you start telling people about it, and all the RSVPs come back saying, sorry, can't make it, got something else on. So this is the week, right at the very beginning of your organisation. Decide what other things you might be hosting and make sure that you communicate that to your friends and family. Get those save the dates out there so that your event can be a fun success and you can have everybody there that you want to have there. So that is the first thing. The second thing that you need to do is around the kind of travel arrangements. Is, again, if you've decided where you're having Christmas, you need to get those travel arrangements made if your plans involve you going to someone else's to visit, to stay, whatever that might be. Maybe you've already done that, and hopefully you have, because generally with booking travel arrangements, the further ahead that you can book, the cheaper it usually is. But yeah, you need to get those travel arrangements nailed, and whether that's booking flights or booking trains or booking hotels or booking Airbnbs or whatever that might be, if there are any sort of travel arrangements involved in your Christmas plans, make sure you know what they are and get them booked, and get that booked as quickly as possible. So that's another task on this week's list. So if you decide that you, as part of your entertainment, maybe there's a theatre show on locally or something like that that you want to go to, you need to book tickets for that, and that has to be done right now. Or maybe you want to take your kids to see Santa. Now, I saw stuff on social media back in, July, where certain really popular places released their visits to Santa slots, and people were talking about the fact that they were already filled up for the popular dates. So you may already be too late to do this, but if you haven't done it already, these are the things that you really want to nail this week. So don't be disappointed because you've left it too late. It's the whole point of taking the time out to get organised this year, is to get all those fun things booked and in the diary that you want to do. Have you got your hair appointments booked? Have you got your nail appointments booked? If you've got a special party or something that you want to go to, have you got your appointments in place for that? A spa day in between Christmas and New Year is quite a popular thing to do. Don't just dream about it and hope that somehow magically it'll happen. This is the week that you need to decide and get that booked. Anything that involves a booking or a reservation, you need to be thinking about this week, and you really want to get those nailed this week so that it's done. You can relax knowing that these are all slotted in the diary. And these are all the things that cause us stress, and that's what we're trying to alleviate. There's nothing worse than getting to the first week in December and realizing that you forgot to book the restaurant that you wanted to go to for Christmas Eve dinner or whatever that might be. So this is the week that you're going to get all those bookings made. And that's it for this week. It's as easy as that. I know it's not always easy, and overwhelm comes from that space in your head where you know, everything is swirling round and you just think, I've got so much to do, I've got so much to do. But that's the whole point of having it planned out like this and starting early. You don't have to worry about those things that are on the task list further down the line, because they're further down the line. So we don't have to even think about them yet. We just need to follow the plan, have the plan, and stick to it. And if you keep checking in back with me every week, your little tasks for that week will be there. And as long as you complete those and stay on track, then yeah, you will have a much less stressful and hopefully a much more joy-filled Christmas season this year. So if you've enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful, useful, please do like it and subscribe to the channel, because it really does help me to just create more content like this. And what I'm going to do is I will summarise what's been on today's video in the blog on the website, so I'll put a link to that down in the description box below, and you'll be able to click on that link and it will take you to a written summary of everything you need to do with all your little tasks for this week, and hopefully they'll all be completed, and when you join me next week we'll be ready to start the next phase. So until then, have a great week and I will see you in the next one.